I want to touch and of course, Blue Array, for people listening to us, you just need to go to the website, and we'll put all the links here as we speak. It really has very big partners, very big clients, and I mentioned something in the bio. So the industry, as you touch, has been going for a lot of challenges. Of course, at the moment we are you mentioned AI, so search engine optimization or organic search, like you said, constitutes a huge part of the internet. And of course, is the best part of the internet, because if you have organic traffic, you have a business, especially if you focus in a vertical. And for people listening to us, so everything about search engine is the way you bring certain keywords to go to your website and to create a call to action. It might be e-commerce to sell a product, or it might be just for selling your content, or it's just to reach your articles. And this is a big thing, because from big corporations, from anyone needs this. Even Google needs this sometimes to drive traffic for some of their websites. So the industry has been going through a lot of transformations, let's put it that way. And at the moment, we are in a massive transformation, because with the web, or the internet, as we speak, it has the web, the apps, and then the social media, which integrates search as well. And now we have as well chatbots that have special ChatGPT. Hundreds of millions of people right now engage as well. So how do you see the present stage of the internet when it comes to search engine optimization and the relationships that you build with clients? Because it's increasing more difficult. For instance, I remember to speak with the director of one of the major agencies in the world, and they were divided. Okay, should we build SEO for Google? Should we build SEO and business and e-commerce for Facebook? Because they control most of the internet. But now we have AI, like you mentioned, that is as well emerging. So I'd like to hear your views. How do you see this as an industry expert?
Yeah, so there's always disruption in the world of SEO. That's a constant. Is that we will always be facing disruption in some way, shape, or form. I guess the greatest current disruption that we're seeing is around what's called search generative experience from Google, or SGE, where you're seeing an LLM placed above the fold, answering your queries, certain queries anyway. So it tends not to be ones where they're navigational, for instance, where you're typing in a brand name and you know what brand you want, and the service results from that brand. That's not the kind of thing where an LLM is going to be particularly useful. But for informational queries, yes, they can be very helpful in that area. But I think Google's struggling on lots of fronts. I think what's fairly clear is that, to me anyway, we're at the top of that, maybe at the end of that hype cycle now, where Google just needed to rush something out the door to meet Bing's answer to chatbots, which was using ChatGPT. It's fairly clear that hasn't done anything for them in terms of helping usage, or delivering a better experience for users. And certainly what we're seeing from Google more recently in experiments that they're doing is that they're giving less real estate to the search generative experience. So I think we're starting to see the end of that hype cycle now, where chatbots were going to take over the business of search. It's not what users want, and certainly users don't trust LLMs, and rightly so. They still want to seek out organic results, and there's still very much an area to play in for businesses of all shapes and sizes there, from core organic. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. I do see that there are companies like ours who are, I'll give an example. Back in Q4 of 2022, we were already talking about how do we leverage AI to essentially annotate our human intelligence rather than, take away from anything we're doing. How do we use it as an assistant to the kind of things that we're doing already? And for me, it was never really about, whether or not it was going to help our labor costs. It was more about, can we do a better job with some of these tools? And we're finding, yes, that there's certain elements of AI that we can utilize and leverage that helps us do a better job. But we're fairly rigorous about the way that we test these tools, and make sure that if it's not doing a better job than humans are currently doing, that it doesn't replace or try and assist what we're doing already. An example of this would be, I'll give you one example of this. We're about to launch this to the public, but we've been testing a tool which corroborates the recommendations that we make to our clients. So when we're writing an email, for instance, and we're making a recommendation, we have a tool which uses a knowledge base and an LLM to check the recommendation and provide accurate citations for that recommendation as well. It's essentially corroborating the recommendations of our professionals. And that I think is incredibly powerful. I think it gives our customers greater confidence. It gives our team greater confidence as well that the recommendations they're giving are corroborated from our own data and third-party data as well. And that's the sort of thing that we would probably go ahead, or we're 90% certain we're going to go ahead and make that available to the wider market. So there are definitely things, there are ways that we're using AI to help the business. I know that we certainly use things like natural language processing and entity extraction, saliency. We use BigQuery for data sets as well. And there's all kinds of ways that we leverage technology to help support us, but we're still ultimately a human-driven business, and our customers want to deal with humans. They don't want to deal with chatbots and LLMs. So we will always be a human-driven business, and agencies that I think focus on that human intelligence are always going to do a lot better than agencies who are trying to productize their offering and scale it in that way to reduce overhead. So, yeah, we're definitely taking the approach that and I always say this, the team, we're in the business of relationships thinly disguised as SEO. I think anybody who's in business, in a service business, is in the business of human relationships. That's the first and foremost thing that you need to focus on. And then the delivery of what you do is has to be at a high standard, but your human relationship side of things has to be of the highest standard. Have to have a great service offering. So, yeah, that's where we're focused at the moment. I don't see any particular threats, as I say, to core organic search or the way that core organic search is delivered in the short to medium term. Longer term, who knows? I mean, I tend to not worry about things that I can't see past a year on. We're not seeing any particular threats in that area. We are seeing Google doing a lot better job of understanding what good looks like on the web. I would say the boom in SEO in the early days was really people playing into Google's technology curve and how weak they were at web spam in the early days. So, the early days of SEO was really about spamming search engines. There's no other way to describe it. And that's what I practiced. I was a web spammer, and it was incredibly effective in the early days of Google in their infancy. But as their technology curve has improved and algorithmically they've improved and they've leveraged AI to help them improve in that area, then the process of SEO has become more complex and requires greater investment than ever before, particularly on the content side of things. So, you really need to be producing content genuinely for users nowadays. And there are very subtle nuances with that. I mean, if you're in the reviews space, if you're doing product reviews, for instance, then experience becomes a real factor. It's part of something called EEAT, for instance, where your experience of having used that product becomes something that Google wants to see to help you rank for it. So, yeah, there's all kinds of subtleties and different algorithms at play for different queries. But, nothing I would say fundamentally is going to change about the way that we interact with search engines or search engines interact with us.